The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham food bank in Beckton, who supplies 7 distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons. Hello, welcome to the West Ham Massive. Thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your social media platforms and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and click all and you'll be notified of anything new that's added to the channel. Bit like this. So, thought I'd record this video and as I say, get your comments in the section below. I want to know what you think. So obviously we've had the news now that Michail Antonio has picked up an injury whilst on international duty for Jamaica. It lasted about, from what I understand, probably within the first 20 minutes of the match, and he's gone off with what appears to be a hamstring injury. At the time I record this, the prognosis of the injury is not yet known. If it's bad, obviously we could be looking at a potentially 6-week wait, but we don't know yet whether that's the case. But let's just suppose, let's suppose that it is the worst case scenario and we're looking at a 6-week one. That will put him out of a busy time. We're in the moving towards Christmas, which is always a busy time for Premier League teams. We've obviously got one game left in the Europa League. We've got a League Cup semi-final away at Anfield, as well as the Premier League programme. The games are going to be coming thick and fast. Now, I would be the first to admit that Michail Antonio's form this season has been less than satisfactory, and that's putting it very mildly. But that being the case, I would never ever want any West Ham player to get an injury, even if it presents an opportunity to another player, you know, in the sense that if the striker is injured like Michail Antonio, it maybe means that someone else is going to step up, and that someone that I'm thinking of is probably Divine Mubama. So it obviously presents an opportunity for him. But I don't think that the fact that David Moyes now has one less option that he can choose from is really necessarily a good thing, because we don't have a particularly deep squad as far as numbers is concerned, and certainly as far as quality is concerned. So to have a player less that he can choose from, I don't think is ever a good thing. I would never ever wish a player of West Ham to get injured, even if, like I say, it presents an opportunity to a player who I think should be getting an opportunity anyway. But just park that for a minute. As I say, the fact that Michail Antonio could potentially be out injured. I mean, look, it might just be a strain. He might only be out for a match or two. It might not be as bad as all that. But as I say, if it is a 6-week one, this is not good news, trust me, even despite the fact that Michail Antonio has not been in the best of form. And then obviously this ties in with a couple of days ago, the story broke from RB Leipzig that they're looking to move Timo Werner on, the former Chelsea player. Now, I wonder if possibly that as a result of this injury to Michail Antonio, if it's a bad injury as far as his hamstring's concerned that puts him out for an extended period of time, could it possibly be that now maybe Tim Steidten is turning his glances towards his German fatherland and looking at the Germany striker and the former Chelsea player as an option? Now, I know what people will be saying. Timo Werner didn't exactly cover himself in glory in his last stint in the Premier League with Chelsea, and I completely agree with that. But there have been players that have been in in the ranks at Chelsea specifically, and have gone away and have come back and plied their trade quite satisfactorily, more than satisfactorily, in the Premier League. And the two that I'm thinking of are Mohamed Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. Now, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that he's going to come back and go on to have a career like them if he does come back to the Premier League. But, sometimes players don't sort of mature when you think they're going to. They don't sort of like hit their peak when you think they're going to. Maybe it's the pressure settling. Who knows? There's a multitude of things that could have contributed to it. Maybe it was just the wrong place, wrong time. So who knows? RB Leipzig are looking at getting him out of the door pretty lively in the January transfer window. Could it be that maybe we do a little bit of business? Tim Steidten weaving his magic, and maybe sort of like, who knows, it'll be a Sullivan sort of special deal, like the old loan with an obligation option to buy, whatever. Who knows? Maybe it's an option we could pursue. What do you think? Is the Michail Antonio injury possibly going to open the door either for Divine Mubama, or maybe is it going to present an opportunity for a striker move in January? Maybe Timo Werner, maybe another option. You've got the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking. Another little thing I want to cover off, and this again is a player that we've been linked to on a couple of occasions. We was quite strongly linked with this particular player when he left his previous club to go to the club he's at now. I'm of course talking about Kalvin Phillips. So Kalvin Phillips was obviously at Leeds United. He had a good midfield partnership in Euro 2020 with our then captain Declan Rice. And there was a lot of rumours swirling around that when he was looking to move on from Leeds United, that possibly he might look to come back to or come to London and renew his partnership, his international partnership with Declan Rice. Obviously that didn't happen. He went to Manchester City, and although he's added to his trophy haul, his medal collection, I think in terms of playing time on the pitch, I don't think it's been a success. I mean, last season he didn't really I think he had 2 starts in the Premier League from memory. This season he hasn't had any. In fact, all his appearances in the Premier League this season have come off of the bench. There's only been 4 of them. And over the course of those 4 matches, he's not even had a cumulative amount of time which has amounted to 90 minutes. I just sort of look and go, wow, 27 years of age, and his career has stagnated. I think he needs a fresh challenge. Now, could it be that West Ham presents that fresh challenge again, possibly in January? Who knows? Again, this is a player that has had a little bit of an injury past, but would he be someone that would improve our midfield? I believe he would, personally, but you might disagree. You've got a comment section below. But I certainly think he would bring an extra dimension of mobility into the midfield 3 that I think that David Moyes would be looking to utilise in Edson Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Soucek. Would he provide an extra bit of mobility that those 3 maybe don't possess? I believe he would. The question mark obviously is over his fitness, and also I guess that obviously last season he was criticised for coming back from pre-season training overweight, and would it possibly be that now he's obviously achieved Premier League winners medal, Champions League winners medal, FA Cup winners medal in his trophy cabinet? How hungry is he going to be? Now that he's achieved that, and he's achieved it at a relatively young age, if he was to move on from City, if he was to turn up at West Ham United, does he still have the hunger? Is the old Kalvin Phillips that got that move to Manchester City, does that Kalvin Phillips still exist? Would we be getting a shell of the Kalvin Phillips that was at Leeds United and playing for England in Euro 2020 and impressing everybody? Does that Kalvin Phillips is still in there? Could we get the very best of Kalvin Phillips out if he comes to West Ham United? Or should we even go for him in the first place? Comment section below, guys. Get stuck into it. Let me know what you're thinking on both topics. As far as Michail Antonio being injured is concerned, does it possibly mean that we're going to go for a striker in January, and could Timo Werner be that option? And central midfield, could we possibly go for Kalvin Phillips? Would he add an extra dimension? But also, don't forget, it probably also should be noted, he can also play at centre-back, so maybe that versatility could be something that's be quite useful. As I say, get stuck in, comment section below, let us know what you think about both these topics. And as I say always, guys, thanks very much indeed for your support. Please don't forget to like this stream, Share it to your social media platforms, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, click all. We'll see you next time. Come on, you Irons. The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham food bank in Beckton, who supplies 7 distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.